I'm Ashley, the Constant Wanderer, and this week we're talking about Discovery Bay. So Discovery Bay is called Discovery Bay because it's locally believed that it's where Christopher Columbus, the Italian explorer, discovered Jamaica. It was the Arawaks who named the island Jamaica. It's a land of wood and water, and Jamaica obviously had plenty of both. So when Christopher Columbus arrived, needing wood to rebuild his ship and water to quench the thirst of his poor sailors, he happened upon Jamaica and did that thing that Europeans did back then and decided to conquer it for Spain. Great. So yeah, Discovery Bay is charged with history, but there's not really much there. It's mainly a residential area, so it's got like a little shopping court with places to buy food. But other than that, I found it just a fantastic base to explore the north coast. We stayed in an apartment in Discovery Bay. My uncle has a house out there. Shout out to my uncle for letting us stay. So we lived like locals, you know, we shopped in the local shops, we cooked our own foods, we got around by route taxis, something that I'll tell you about more in a later vlog. We chose a locals beach called Runaway Bay, east of Discovery Bay. It became our second home. We literally lived on this beach. There was a little restaurant there with really delicious, reasonably priced food. There's a coral reef up at the point that you can go and explore and do a little bit of snorkeling. So loads to do on the beach, or nothing to do on the beach, whichever you kind of prefer. Speaking of the history of Discovery Bay, there's a place called Grotto Caves that we visited, and it's a great family-friendly place to go. Strap the baby on and you can kind of wander through these caves with a tour guide talking you through like some of the history of this epic underground cave network. I just remember walking around there and feeling like a huge sense of history, almost like the place was haunted, you know, almost like there was still the presence and energy of all the slaves who had tried to escape from their slave masters. Dan and I learnt a lot about Jamaica. And yes, darling, we learnt a lot about Jamaica and the makeup of the island. You know, the geological makeup of the island from there as well. 40 minutes east of Discovery Bay is Ocho Rios, somewhere that a lot of people have probably heard of. That and Montego Bay are sort of one of the popular tourist places to go these days. And if I'm honest, I really didn't like it. These huge cruise ships has just like dumped their entire clientele onto the town, and it was crowded, it was busy, you know, the shops were targeting tourists in a way that, you know, I felt was a little bit tasteless, I guess. So the Blue Hole is the next place that I wanted to tell you guys about. It's a river, a beautiful, pale, chalky blue river, surrounded and embedded in lush green forest.
Hi, Pepe.
Say hi.
Hi, cutie pie.
Can't eat it.
The water was so cold, so cold. The only way you can really justify getting in there is by jumping off of one of the many platforms into the deep water or swinging off of the various rope swings around the complex. Duns River is also on that part of the coast, just half an hour from Discovery Bay. But Dan and I kind of avoided it because we heard that it was quite crowded and really touristy, and we selected to go with some of the smaller, less populated destinations. The other thing that we did is actually fulfill one of my lifelong dreams, which was to swim with dolphins. Half an hour from Discovery Bay. Talk about Dolphin Cove. My only bugbear with Dolphin Cove, it was $100 each to get in and have the Discovery package, where you get to pet the dolphins and they do tricks for you and swim in front of you and you get to, you know, to interact with them. And this ticket does entitle you to spend the whole day in the whole complex and swim with stingrays, and there's an aviary for birds, lovebirds, which are really cool. But once you get in there, like, everything is a rip-off. The food was really overpriced for what it was, and you're not allowed to take a single photo. because they take them for you. Okay, great, yeah, we'd had our experience, we were gassed, fully charged. Alipe really enjoyed it. And then we got to the shop and the pictures were $36 each. What? In the end, we settled for a package, which was $100, sorry, to get all of the pictures burnt to a disc and one printout. And that was just for the two of us. If you was a family of 4 or 5 or 6, that price quickly crept up to $200, $300, $400 to have keepsakes of this like once in a lifetime experience. One of my top tips for travelling Discovery Bay with a baby is to carry with you one of these, which is a baby wetsuit. And it came in really, really handy at the Blue Hole where the water was freezing, and also at the Dolphin Cove where you know, we was in the water for an extended period of time. It's by a company called Splash-About, and we got it from Amazon. It's like my favourite place to buy everything. I advise that you get it in the next size up from your baby because it actually comes in quite small. It's kind of like one of my top purchases for the whole trip, really. That was us in Discovery Bay. Whoopah! That was us in Discovery Bay, wasn't it? Ah, you played it with a kiss. That's nice. Next time on The Constant Wanderer, one of the most difficult things about travelling with a baby is making sure they're well fed and well watered. Find out my top tips of weaning a baby on the go.